So I'm Vicky. Um, yeah, so as Ben said, my talk today is going to be how Twitter, Facebook, you guys all know what that is, right? Okay. And how we can use that to actually empower ourselves and others. Oops, go back. Okay, so I just see there's Friday, Sai's Gangnam Style, and the Harlem Shake. And these three videos have things in common. Basically, these three videos were viewed by billions on YouTube, were tweeted by millions on Twitter, and were also shared among friends and strangers among different social media platforms like WordPress, Facebook, and Tumblr. And basically, what I'm trying to say is that these videos, they went viral. And so with the success of these videos and various social media platforms, think about how we ordinary people can take advantage of these tools and to make change and to make a positive impact in others and to just make our voices heard. But before I get into how we can do that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about myself. So that's me. As you can tell, I'm a twin. She's sitting right in front with me here. Okay, so growing up, my parents raised me with the traditional ideas of a Chinese family and how daughters should be. I'm sure a lot of the women in here can relate that we had to be quiet, we had to be docile, we had to get good grades, we had to learn a musical instrument like the piano or the violin, and they would want us to get into a prestigious college. They discouraged me from speaking my opinions and believed that my Friday night should be spent more with my SAT books than with my friends. And I actually did give in to my parents' expectations. I did well in school. I did well in the SATs. I spent more times with my verbal flashcards than I did with my friends. And I did learn to play musical instruments like the piano and violin. And to my parents' delight, I did get into a top-tier university called Brandeis. But even in my first year at Brandeis, I was still that quiet Asian girl who would stay in her room on Friday nights working on those chem lab reports. And for all you bio, chem, science majors out there, you know how difficult those significant digits were and how we'd always double check them like 5 times, 10 times, whatever. And that's what I did. I just spent my Friday nights checking over those significant digits. And I would rarely actually go out to the social events on campus. And so from there, I realized, that there was definitely more to the college experience than just my textbook. And then I realized that I need to experience more, especially about how to communicate with others. So 2 years ago, the Intercultural Center hosted a holiday party with a local organization called the Greater Waltham Arc, and they worked to improve the lives of the people with mental and developmental disabilities. And so during this holiday party, I noticed that there was a woman sitting in the corner by herself, and she was just like looking at her hands, not really sure what to do. And at this point, I was a sophomore, and it took a lot of courage for me to just approach her and just say like, "Hey, what's your name?" And after she introduced me, I took her hand and dragged her out to the dance floor because everyone else is dancing, and I really wanted her to also have a good time. And as a disclaimer, I in no way can dance professionally. My only experience comes from watching those YouTube videos and trying to look cool, but I don't know how well that went. But regardless, I still showed her my attempt at the running man and the electric slide, and she tried to show me how to swing my hips. And so that whole night, it was basically just me and her going back and forth, just trying to dance with each other. And I realized that you don't really need to verbally speak to someone to communicate with them. Just dancing was enough for us to become friends. And so I realized that, I may have trouble speaking to others, but as long as I can find a different medium to show my ideas and my beliefs, that was enough to just build a connection with other people. Okay. So then that idea really took off a few months later when I met the Jubilee Project, who came to Brandeis in October 2010. And that really changed my perspective on things a lot. So for those who don't know, the Jubilee Project is a trio of Asian American men, and they make videos for a good cause. And as you can see, the most recent video with MasterChef actually highlights the story of Christine Ha, who was the first blind contestant on MasterChef, and she actually won. And then Back to Innocence is a story about sex trafficking, about a young girl who literally, the story goes from that instance in which she loses her innocence all the way back to when she was just a child. And Love Language is actually one of my most favorite ones, and the first one I saw, which highlights the fact that you can be deaf, but you can still communicate. And the whole video, I can't really tell you exactly the conclusion, otherwise I'll ruin it. But basically, there's this guy and this girl, and he's trying to court her, and he's basically just communicate with sticky notes. So just having a conversation. And from that one video alone, they were able to raise $2,500 for the American Deaf Children Society, yeah, the American Society for Deaf Children. And because each of their videos, what they do is that for every single view, they donate 1 cent to that organization. And this money comes either out of their own pockets or from people who, like their partners and organizations who help fund these films. And so from just watching their videos, I realized that YouTube was just another advent of expressing your ideas about sometimes important and very sensitive topics like sex trafficking. And so like my experience with the Interculture Center at that holiday party, I realized that I don't necessarily need to have to speak in order to express my ideas, but I could use other platforms, and this time they use social media, to really communicate and to empower others. And so this past fall, in my senior year, a cumulative that me, my sister, and one of my best friends here decided to create our own chapter, the Brandeis Jubilee Project. And we really just wanted to take this opportunity to show others that you can just do a simple act to spread good, similar to what Max was talking about actually earlier. And so what we've done is that even though like I've had leadership positions in ICC, I was also an organic chemistry TA, like Ben had said, I found that I still wasn't able to express my thoughts clearly. Like right now I can talk somewhat eloquently to you guys, but like having to stand in front of a room like this has never been, like I never thought about this at all. So, and literally like, you guys can't see it, but I'm like literally shaking right now. Yeah, so I found that like through the Julie Project, I was actually able to better express my thoughts because back in November 2012, we held a Movember bake sale, and the point of that was to raise awareness about prostate cancer research and for men's health in general. And so I don't know, maybe you guys were in News End when you heard us saying that if you want to buy a cupcake for November, we were those girls with the cupcakes with mustaches drawn on them. And from that, for a 2-day bake sale, we were able to raise, I think, $542 to donate to our organization. It was literally just the 3 of us baking for 2 nights and just selling those in News End. And it was one of the biggest successes we had. And then in December, we also participated in a 12 Days of Kindness campaign. And for those 12 days, we were just challenging ourselves to spread as much joy and as much love to people as possible. And so one day we went out and posted sticky notes all over campus and like in the science building. You guys might have seen some around the benches and the bus stops. And then another day was that we would just go around and hugging people. So that's why, again, when Max talked about that, it was like, this is awesome that other people are doing this. And literally what we do is take a picture of that and we'll tweet it onto our Twitter accounts and just show people, like whether it's our friends, our families, or even someone like on the other side of the world, that this is what we're doing. And it really just is about spreading that message that doing good can really make a big impact on someone's life. Yeah, so now, yeah, and that's the chapter. That's me, my sister, yeah. And those are some of the samples of sticky notes. And that collage is actually not made by either of us. It was actually someone who noticed that these sticky notes were in the library and they actually sent it to us. So the fact that they noticed and like realized that, that we were doing this actually was a big like confidence booster for us. Yeah, so we've recently, as a chapter, established our own blog on WordPress. You guys can check it out. It's right there. And then I also have my own Twitter account. And basically, I use it to just retweet like quotes or videos or articles I found that have inspired me and hopefully can inspire you guys as well. And we're also actually in the process of making our first short film about leukemia awareness. And the reason why we want to highlight leukemia especially is because for minorities, not a lot of us are aware about leukemia. And since for bone marrow, it's very hard to find a match. And so we're trying to increase the number of people that are willing to be donors. So when that film comes out, you definitely should just like check it out. And you can if you follow my Twitter or our blog, you'll definitely know. And that's a shameless plug, so definitely follow me. But yeah, so overall, it's really, back up. Okay, and then moving forward, so our plans for after you graduate, because me, my sister, and my other friend, we are seniors. So we're definitely planning to keep this story going. We're actually in the works of establishing our own chairs project, which if any of you have read the Bible, it's about grace and just spreading that to others. And it's also, if you guys went to APOM last Friday, that was like the first time where I actually coordinated my own dance and actually had the courage to really physically put myself out there, because I've never really done that before until this experience, and then also our YouTube video, which will be out hopefully by the end of May. And so what I'm trying to say is that like this whole experience, it's really hard to describe how much it's impacted me, because it's not just one experience that changes you. It's really just about everything that's come up to this point. But I want to say that I think that the moment that I became a Jew believer, it's really just increased my self-confidence. And the fact that I was able to dance on stage and share my ideas and educate others about something that I believe in without having to physically be the face of an organization really empowered me, in a sense that I knew that I was making some sort of impact, whether it's positive or negative, on others. And that you knew that you were changing someone's life, whether it's actually in your community or someone across the world. And so in truth, like, I wasn't actually sure if I would be participating in Dice Talks today, because like I said earlier, I'm not that, like, I can't speak in front of a crowd like this. But because of my friend emailed, I got that email saying that, you know, maybe you should be at Dice Talks, and that actually like lit the flame for me. So again, some sort of mode of social media was what motivated me to be here today. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Like, I'm not going to go spam your inboxes and tell you guys to go to Dice Talks or send you encouraging messages, because that'd be kind of creepy if I found out all your emails. But I just want to say that, like, you don't, like, regardless of your race, your ethnicity, regardless of your gender, your age, regardless of your background or education, like, you don't have to be the person who's always the center of attention. It's okay to be that awkward, shy person who hides in the corner. And even like if you're that person, you can still make a change, and you can still do extraordinary things with tools that are like right in front of you. You can use Twitter, you can use Facebook, you can use a sign that says free hugs. You can do anything that you really can do. And then the impact is really just magnified by social media, because so many people look at it and you don't realize how many people see what you're actually doing. So many people have come up to me and asked me like, oh, are you the JP girl? And like, I don't actually know who they are, but the fact that they've seen it, just in the back of my mind, this is like what we've been trying to get, just spreading that message. And even the Julie Project themselves, they just started out as 3 ordinary guys who just picked up a camera and started filming one day, and look at where they are now. They're actually like an established organization. They're out in California filming, and actually today they left on a Southeast Asian tour to share their story with people around the globe. So basically what I'm trying to get at is that even if you believe in the cause deeply enough, then by performing just the smallest acts, you can definitely make a difference. And the effects are only enhanced by using social media. And as I said before, that you don't have to be the face of an organization to set the stage. Like, your one tweet, your one Facebook status, your one blog post is being read by millions across the world. And that can set the stage, if not necessarily for yourself, then at least for someone else. Because that one encouraging message can definitely put a smile on someone's face and give them the drive to do something they wouldn't do, like I did today with being at Dice Talks. And so I just want to quote a fellow Jew believer, as you can see. So every day we have an opportunity to change someone's life, and the only question is if we take that opportunity to let it slip. And so before I leave, I just want to ask you guys a question and pose it on you, that how will you take your chosen medium to make the change, or how will you take the opportunity to be the change that you want to see in the world?